In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to turn your Instagram profile into a high converting funnel. Because the moment you understand that your Instagram profile is your biggest converting asset is the moment when you 10x your online business. And the problem is most people overlook their profile and only use it as a way to send traffic to another funnel. When in reality, you should be utilizing your Instagram profile as your main funnel. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly step by step how you can actually do this and turn your profile into that high converting funnel. So how does it actually work? Well, normally you'd have all of your content directing towards some sort of VSL or webinar or workshop, etc. Instead, we're going to have all of our content, our Instagram Reels, our TikToks, our YouTube videos, tweets, any type of content which you put out, all direct towards your Instagram profile. Forget about directing people towards a VSL or an application or a Calendly even. We're going to be directing them straight towards your Instagram profile. So now all of your leads are landing on your profile. How do we actually convert them? Well, we're going to be posting nurture content. And what is this? Testimonials, case studies, your regular educational and informational posts, as well as curated story sequences with call to actions at the end. The testimonials, as well as the case studies on your Instagram, will work to nurture your audience and build that trust and credibility, proving that the product that you are offering has worked for not only you, but also your clients and other students. And what I mean by educational posts is the more bottom of funnel informational posts that you would more than likely already be posting onto your Instagram. But let's say if you don't, then you should start, because you need to give away certain amounts of information and let your audience know that you know what you're talking about. And finally, story sequences with call to actions at the end. What a well-curated story sequence will do is show off your product/offer, explain what it does, how it does it, show results from yourself and your students, and include a call to action at the end. If you're interested in learning more about story sequences and how to craft a perfect story sequence, then I do recommend you check out the video I have on my YouTube about it, because it is a very in-depth topic. But anyways, so now that we have the content taken care of, we have to think about the CTAs. What is the mechanism we're using to turn these leads into buyers? So, like I said, we have the story CTAs from the sequences. We're going to have real CTAs as well as a CTA in the bio. When I say real CTAs, the educational posts, the case studies, and the testimonials at the end of those videos, adding a call to action to either go towards a sales asset or to DM/comment to receive a free asset that you're giving away or a lead magnet. And the third is the bio CTA. So the actual call to action in your bio, whether it's to DM a keyword or to go to a link that's to sign up for a webinar, a workshop, watch a VSL, fill out an application, etc. So now that we have your CTAs, you obviously still need your sales asset. So this is what's actually going to be selling them, because you're not going to be selling them directly on your Instagram. You're not going to be selling them a $5,000 mentorship on your story, on your reels. Now, you may ask them to engage in a DM conversation so that you can set them onto a sales call and sell them that $5,000 mentorship. So the sales asset is what's going to actually do the selling. So it could come in the form of a setter in your DMs, for example, booking these leads onto calls to close them on sales calls. And so when they comment at the end or DM at the end of a reel or DM the keyword in your bio or at the end of a story sequence, they're funneled into a sales asset, aka the setter in the DMs that's trying to sell them or book them on a call to sell them. It could come in the form of a VSL, for example. The link in your bio is to a VSL. When they comment or DM on a story or a reel, it goes to a VSL, or likewise a webinar, workshop, etc. So you still have this sales asset, but we're running all the leads through your Instagram so they can watch this content, get nurtured, and then take the CTAs when they are ready, and then be funneled into the sales asset to ultimately close them. And so now your Instagram is working as the perfect nurturing and converting ecosystem. As soon as they enter, they're hit with educational content, testimonials, case studies, and story sequences, all working together to build that authority, credibility, and trust needed to actually convert them. And that's the main problem when not using an Instagram funnel, is that a lot of times you'll be trying to funnel your audience straight from a piece of content to a sales asset when they're simply not yet ready to buy. So by implementing the Instagram funnel, they're able to actually take action when they are ready. So they're being exposed to multiple CTAs. They're seeing them on their reels, the story sequences, in your bio, at the end of the case studies that you post. And now when they actually feel like they are ready and they've watched enough of your content, then they will take one of these CTAs to that sales asset that we were talking about before. And another thing is that all the leads coming through are now going to be way more qualified because, like I said, they are taking action when they are actually ready, when they actually trust you. And so the more content that you post, the more story sequences that you curate, testimonials that you record with students, the more you're nurturing your leads that are in your profile funnel. And you can constantly run call to actions, whether it's from a reel, a story, or just your bio CTA, knowing that people will consistently convert. And you're still keeping that sales asset, that 20-minute VSL you made, that webinar that you're running twice a week, the setters that you have in your DMs, but now you're just filtering and nurturing your leads so that when they actually arrive to these sales assets, to this VSL, they are way more qualified. And you can ultimately close them at much higher rates. So why is this better? Well, instead of funneling straight from a piece of content to a sales call where they probably aren't ready to close, for example, if you posted a YouTube video and someone watched your YouTube video for the first time and all you had was a link to a landing page in the description of your video with a VSL and an application, for example, and they fill out that application and they get on that sales call, well, they've only found out about you about a couple days ago. So do you really think that they're likely to close and spend thousands of dollars with you if they've only watched one piece of your content? Probably not. So with the Instagram funnel, instead of funneling them straight to the sales asset, you're bringing them to the Instagram where they can watch more content steadily over time, see your results, watch these case studies and testimonials that you're posting, scroll through your story sequences every single day. And then after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, when they're actually ready and they've watched enough content, they'll be ready to close. And on top of that, there's a much lower barrier to entry to just follow an Instagram account compared to watching a VSL, filling out an application, and then booking a call. So whereas if you posted a YouTube video with a link to a sales asset, you may have gotten 5% of the people who watched the video to actually take that action, because it's a much higher barrier to entry to go through and watch that video, for example, fill out an application, book a call, compared to maybe 30 or 40% that would spend the 10 seconds clicking on your Instagram profile and then following. So ultimately, you can attract even more leads that wouldn't have previously entered your funnel, and then over time you're nurturing them until they're ready to convert. And so now I'll go a little bit more in depth on how to build the perfect profile funnel. So the first thing that needs to be dialed in is the content on your Insta page, like I was talking about. You really need two things. Educational content. This works to build the credibility and build the authority, as well as the case studies that work to build the trust by showing off your results. So this says, I know what I'm talking about, and this says other people know what I'm talking about. Then you need story sequences. It's a must. They once again nurture your audience, show off more results, and then create scarcity for your offer, all while converting your audience at the end of these sequences. And like I said, I have a whole other video about how to build high converting story sequences, so just go to my page and check that out. And finally, we're including the call to actions. So how are we actually converting? We have a permanent bio CTA. We have story CTAs at the end of these story sequences. And then we have the CTAs on the actual reels that we're posting, whether it be educational content or case study posts, simply something like follow and comment a certain word, and I'll send you over this lead magnet with this asset. So with all this in mind, and after everything I told you, I do implore you to get rid of whatever funnel you're using right now and implement and work on building your Instagram profile to use as a high converting funnel that will ultimately increase your lead flow, increase the quality of your prospects when they ultimately get onto a sales call, and help consolidate your audience into one single place where you can constantly spam them with testimonials, case studies, educational content, and call to actions. And lastly, if you guys do want this entire mural board for yourselves, then go ahead and DM me the word asset on my Instagram. The handle is here as well as in the description of this video. I'll send it over, as well as all the other Miro boards from my YouTube videos. And if you are an online creator, coach, or consultant and you have an info offer doing $5, $10, $15, $100,000 a month, and you know that you want to scale, or you don't have an offer yet but you are a professional in your niche, then I want you to go to the link in the description and watch this video that I made for you, because I'm offering to analyze and reposition your offer to make it irresistible, create you a content framework that attracts quality leads, build you out the optimal sales flow to convert these leads to high-ticket clients, taking care of everything on the back end and the front end, and then going through and systemizing your fulfillment to provide quality results while saving you time. So if you do already have an info offer or you want to launch one, then I do implore you to go to this link and see if we would be a good fit to work together. But other than that, thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in starting or scaling an online info or coaching business, I recommend that you do go and check out the rest of my YouTube videos, as I upload almost daily and have a wide variety on videos covering almost all topics on online info.